Alright kids, here we go. 92 Seville. Now I went to looking at all different kinds of things, trying to find anything that was on. I only found one video on the water pump on this car. And I want to pass along a few hints here. Now I've got it pretty much taken all apart. It is a bear. If you are not really a shade tree mechanic, I would not recommend doing this. This pulley, well, first off, you're going to have to pull. The other information that I didn't get was, number one, you need to pull the reservoir off, take your battery out, so you got access down in here. The other thing is there's bolts in the very bottom of this that you cannot get to. You need to come in here and pull this access panel, fender panel, which has just got plastic pull clips in it. Pull it out so that you can access that bottom bolt underneath that pulley. And if I can get it under there where you can see it. But that one, and there's another one right up under here. Now this pulley, you can't take it off. There's no room to do it. That's the biggest problem with this. If you got, the smaller your hands are, the better off you are. I did find that these last bolts down here, there's got 2 end bolts in it. There we go. Sorry about that. There's 2 end bolts in this pulley, in this pump, and it's right there at the very end. If you see those lines right there, those lines don't let you really access that. You got to kind of pull them out a little bit so you can get that bolt out. Otherwise, that bolt, it holds that bolt in. What I did was I kind of loosened that nut right there just a little bit, just give me a little more access. You may have to take that bolt off. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull this thing off the rest of the way, and I'll check in back with you here in a little bit. Okay, whenever the issue was with this pump was that we were hearing a noise out of it. Most of them say that there's a squeal in it, or it'll start leaking water when the pump goes out, but that's not it. See, if you can hear this, it causes a vibration sound. And by the way, wear your suspenders because it keeps holding your pants up. Okay, we got the bear off. Now it's time to clean it up. Get the raised blade out, scrape it clean a little bit. I think I'm going to take a little shop towel and put me a little bit of brake cleaner on it. Kind of clean it off real good so that whenever I put my gasket sealer on there, that she'll stick. Well, I thought I'd share this with you before I got done here. I got this little tub here, and I turned around and put my bolts in there and sprayed them with a little parts cleaner, brake cleaner, and that way you get rid of all the grease and stuff before you put that stuff back together. This thing had a lot of grease down in there, around there, and you know, makes it real kind of dirty to deal with and hard to hold on to, and that way your bolts are nice and fresh and clean when you put them back. Okay, we got our new gasket. Now myself, I prefer Indian head gasket cement. I'm going to coat this gasket on both sides on using that box lid, so we can then go over here and stick it to our housing and start putting this thing back together. That's what I like about that gasket sealer. See, it sticks that gasket right on down there. Now I like to get carried away a little bit because I'm going to put a little bit on this pump too while I do it. Alright kids, now we got it all put back in there. I tightened it all down once. I'm going to sit and let it relax a minute. Kind of like when cooking a steak. You just got to let it relax a minute. And then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to recheck everything on tightness. We'll put this thing back together. I wanted to show you something here that I read earlier. There was a guy that was talking about having troubles getting this pulley undone, and I've seen people try to put wrenches and everything else on. There's a trick to it. If you take take your wrench here, put it on there and hold it around here with this one here, and then take this wrench here and pull against itself, you can break those bolts loose. Another thing is when you're tightening it back up, if you're put your socket on here, I never get the socket on there. When it runs down to here and rests on that ratchet, kind of ride on that frame to where you can get it getting tight. And you don't have to have anything else to hold that. You guys can pull this off if you try. It's going to take a few wrenches. You're going to need some brake cleaner, parts cleaner. Get your parts cleaned up. I went through about 4 or 5 sets of plastic gloves. And just take your time, use your patience and your common sense. Check us out on Ozone Finds or Show Creek Studios at Facebook.